Welcome to another lesson from Merced Community College Student Help Desk. And this is going to be chapter 3 of a series of 3 videos that show you how to prepare your files, which include the HTML file, the movie file, and the text file, the SAMI file, that includes the closed captioning information. Now, we're going to upload it. We have already learned how to prepare those files in the first video. On the second video, we learned how to send those files to the SharePoint Datatel server. And on this video, we're going to learn how to send those files to Blackboard learning system. Okay, so here we are. So we have on the screen 6 files, well, plus the thumbs, which doesn't really count. We have 6 files: an HTML file, a SAMI file, and a WMV file, which is the movie. Now, if you don't know how to do these parts of the lesson, you need to watch video number 1. So we have already prepared the files. I'm going to open one of those files so that you see how we prepared it. I'm going to open it with Notepad as we addressed on the first video, and I'm going to explore this file to find out that indeed the value for the URL is already changed to chapter 6 language WMV, which is the name of the movie file, and the value of the SAMI file is also chapter 6 language.smi. So we already made these 2 modifications as explained on the number 1 video. So I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to open Blackboard learning system, and here I'm going to go to the home page. And on the home page, on the build tab, I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to name that folder chapter 6 videos, and you can name the folder whatever you need to name the folder. And I'm going to save this folder. Okay, now I'm going to click on that folder, and on that folder I'm going to add files. This is the easiest way of doing it. There's many other ways of doing it, but this is just a very simplistic way of doing it. So if you're more proficient using Blackboard, you may use whichever other means you consider necessary or you find easier for your teaching methods. So I'm going to click on Browse for Files. And then I'm going to go to the locations where those files live inside my computer. So I click on My Computer module, and then I'm going to go to my desktop, because those files, I put those files on my desktop. I'm going to click on CLDB 1, chapter 6, and lo and behold, there they are. Now, there's 7 files. One of them is called thumbs.db. You might not even see that file on your computer. I see it because I told my computer to reveal everything that is behind the scenes. So you don't need to concentrate on that file, okay? So I'm going to select, so I have 2 movies, so I'm going to select those 6 files, because it's 3 files per movie. The HTML file, which contains the instructions, that calls the video file, WMV, and the SAMI file, the closed caption files. And in this case, I have, for chapter 6, I have 2 videos. So I'm going to click there, and chapter 6, the content is uploading slowly to Blackboard. I'm going to pause for an instant in order not to waste time as the video continues to upload. And we are back. All the files uploaded satisfactorily. So now we have closed captioning example, chapter 6 language, chapter 6 visual, and chapter 6 language, closed captioning example, and chapter 6 visual. We need to edit now the HTML file. Now, how do we know which one is the HTML file? Good question. In this case, it's going to be the one that says closed captioning example. There's two that say the same thing. So we're going to click on the action button and we're going to go edit properties. And there it is, our HTML file. For those of you that are HTML persons and want to see the code, let me copy this for you and just show it to you. The way you can examine the code, and if you're HTML gurus and like to explore it and modify it and do things to it, well, here it is. Okay. Now I'm going to close this because a lot of people, they don't care about those things. Well, on this file, I do need to modify two things, of course. The first thing we're going to modify is the title. But first, we need to know which HTML file is this. And here it is. This is chapter 6 language. So I'm going to call this file video language. And I need to do something else. You remember what we did on the first section, the first video, the first chapter that taught us how to prepare the files? Well, lo and behold, we need to tweak something on this file. So we have here the chapter 6 -language WMV and the SMI file. Both of them are correct. However, Blackboard Learning System will not let us call two files simultaneously from one single HTML file because it thinks it's a virus or something of the sort. It's very concerned about security. So we're going to have to call this SAMI file from another server in another location. Right now it's calling it from the same folder, but it's not going to work. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to add, instead of a relative URL, an absolute URL. You don't really need to know what that means. And the absolute URL is going to vary. So we're going to provide you with that absolute URL. For the sake of this lesson and this example, the URL I'm going to use, I'm going to copy it right now, and I'm going to paste it. It's an absolute URL, and the address is here at the college. http://www.mccd.edu myhelp/SharePoint. Now, what that does, it calls the SAMI file instead of calling the SAMI file from a relative location within the same folder, it's going to call the SAMI file from an absolute location somewhere else in the cloud, somewhere else on internet. Why do we need to do this? Well, because Blackboard doesn't know how to handle two requests from one single file because of security reasons. We're going to save this file. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. Closed captioning example. I'm going to edit the properties. I'm going to see what's the name of these files. I'm going to scroll down. And this one is visual. You see, here's the name. So I'm going to put the link, again, the absolute link, on the SAMI file. I don't need to put it on the WMV. That's the movie. The SAMI file or SMI is the one that contains the closed captioning text, and I'm just pasting. How do I do that? Control C, because I copy Control C and Control V, and remember we saw that on the first video, the first lesson. So you might want to check that. You might want to go back and check how to select, how to copy, how to paste, if you do not already know how to do that. And we're going to call this file, as we said, visual movie, and I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to test the concept to see whether it works. So I'm going to go to the student view, and I'm going to go to chapter 6 videos, and there's all the files. So you might want to, you can hide those files so students don't see them, or you can leave them, whichever is your preference. And students that don't want to, watch the closed caption can click directly on the video, or if they want to just see the transcript, they could actually click on the SAMI file. But I'm going to click on the video language, and lo and behold, the video appears, and the closed captioning text is shown on the bottom part of the screen. And as I mentioned earlier, if you click on chapter 6 language, the only thing that shows is the movie without the closed captioning text in an external media player. But if they choose the chapter 6 visual, they can see the closed captioning text. Now you can choose, if you want, to hide those files so that your students don't see those files. And what you do is you click on the action and just go hide item, and the item is still there, just the students won't see that. Okay, so I'm gonna hide them, hide the item. I'm gonna hide the item. It just needs to be there. Your students don't really need to see, and that way you clean things up. And when students go to the page and they click on chapter 6 videos, there they are. Only the two movies with a closed captioning. And that concludes today's lesson, how to add movies to the Blackboard learning system with closed captioning provided by the grant. And this is Eduardo from the Student Help Desk at Merced Community College. Thank you.